Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from Haymaker Stadium in Cozad. This is Alex Loroff, where we have a big game on tap for you coming up this evening, as the Kearney Catholic Stars are in town to do battle with the Cozad Haymakers in a game that will have huge implications in District 6 of Class C1. Welcome back into the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Alex Loroff alongside Michael Shively for Game 2 of our Class C1 Boys State quarterfinal matchups we will be bringing for you today on News Channel Nebraska. After a thriller of a first game, Michael, now we get set for what should be another fantastic contest. The number 2 seed Wahoo Warriors taking on the number 7 seed Boys Town Cowboys. Two storied programs, Michael. Wahoo, the defending C1 state champs. 11 times they have won a state championship. Boys Town, 7 state championships to their own right. So we're going to talk about a handful of teams here today. First up, I want to start with Norfolk Catholic, a team you've seen this year, a team you're very familiar with in general. Norfolk Catholic this year is 10-4 on the season. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. They've been really unstoppable the last handful of contests, and one of the biggest reasons for their success this year has been the play of Christian Michelson, who's been just killing it this year.
Ogallala, they have just come out firing on all cylinders to start the season. 6-0. They made the state tournament last season, only graduated a couple of seniors from that state team, so they're returning a lot of the same players from that squad.
Jackson, 140 reception yards, 4 reception touchdowns here tonight, and talked about it with Coach, kind of third consecutive year heading to the playoffs. So for this team, seniors now, sophomores when you first made the postseason, how is this team, especially with the quarterback Wyatt Ellers, be able to build up that chemistry year after year to kind of put together the offensive performance like we saw here tonight?
This season has started very similar to the 2018 season. They began at 18 at 0-2 after losses to Ord and Gothenburg, one of those being a shutout loss, and one of the losses this year also a shutout loss. Then they went to Imperial last year and earned a comeback 19-14 win over Chase County to start a 5-game winning streak, which would then set them up for a potential playoff opportunity at the end of the season. So now looking at this year, looking at this game, this is a huge opportunity for the Haymakers to get themselves back on track. Well, you can feel the excitement in the air on a beautiful Monday afternoon here in Omaha as we are getting set for the Class A and B Boys State Soccer Championship matches here at Morrison Stadium on the campus of Creighton University. Later on tonight, it will be the Class A State Championship match kicking off at about 7:30, which will see the top seed Omaha South take on the 3 seed Creighton Prep. But first up here today will be the Class B state title game, which will pit 2 teams with very different state championship histories, as one team has proven its dominance in Class B state soccer, while another team is very new to this sort of scenario. The calendar has flipped to June, which means there's a new batch of directed health measures that the majority of Nebraska's counties are now under. Now, the new DHMs include regulations for swimming pools, bars, and gyms, just to name a few, but also include new regulations for sports, as non-contact sports such as baseball, softball, and volleyball can once again practice in a limited capacity, and games can once again take place on the baseball and softball diamond beginning June 18th. When you think about high school sports in Nebraska, you usually think about students using equipment like this or a playing surface like this for their games. However, one recently established nonprofit organization is looking to make equipment like this a regular part of high school sports. All 4 classes will hold a 1-round, 18-hole championship final on Wednesday morning. And NSA officials have said that out here in Columbus, they are going to do all they can to make sure that the Class B tournament goes off without a hitch. But luckily, the weather looks like it will cooperate much better tomorrow than it has here today. Reporting in Columbus, I'm Alex Loroff, News Channel Nebraska. Well, Class A Boys State Golf is in the book. Better late than never, as I always say, as it gets into a 1-round, 18-hole championship event. And ultimately, Creighton Prep, your team winner, but our individual winner, Luke Kluver of Norfolk, your 3rd state championship in your career with Norfolk. When you hear that, how does that sound and how does that feel to win your 3rd state title and to do it here in your senior year? Vandenberg Golf Course has been a staple of Columbus for over 90 years, but that may not be the case in the near future, as Mayor Jim Bulkley believes the city cannot afford 27 holes of municipal golf any longer, even though Vandenberg has greatly assisted Quail Run Golf Course this summer with giving Columbus residents an extra place to play. The Class C1 State Football Championship is coming to Northeast Nebraska as the Pierce Blue Jays get set to welcome the Adams Central Patriots. The NSAA announced last week that the state championships for classes A through D2 would be hosted by the higher seed this year and would not be held at Memorial Stadium like normal. Pierce head coach Mark Bramer says that while Memorial Stadium provides a unique atmosphere, he prefers a smaller scale for the state championship.
I really think it belongs in a small town. I really do. You know, we're small town guys, and it allows in my opinion, also the fans to have a much better experience. You know, this could be an opportunity where we'll have 4,000 or 5,000 people here on Friday night.
The Blue Jays will take on the Adams Central Patriots, who are making history by appearing in the C1 State Championship for the first time in school history.
This is my 21st year here at Adams Central, and the first time getting, I guess you would say, over the hump and making it to the championship game. And it's great for our school. It's great for our community, and especially for these guys too. It's something that they will be able to take with them for the rest of their life too. So it's a great accomplishment for them.
These two teams matched up in last year's semifinal round, with Pierce coming away with a 54-14 victory. Both coaches say there are some takeaways from last year's game that will help in preparation this year, but both expect a competitive game between two good football teams on Friday.
You know what, there's some differences, but there's also similarities. Same coaching staff we're facing with Adams Central. Again, they've graduated a number of good players from last year's team, just like we did, but they've got very good athletes. So we've got our work cut out for us.
Pierce is so physical, and they just kept on, beat on you both mentally and physically. And when momentum's not on your side, it's kind of hard to counteract that. You watch them on film again, they're extremely well coached, technique-wise, fundamentally wise, as good, if not better, than any team we've seen. So we definitely have our hands full.
Pierce is looking for its fourth state championship and first since 2008, while Adams Central is looking to win a state title for the first time in school history. Reporting for News Channel Nebraska, I'm Alex Loroff. For the second straight year, the Class D State Wrestling Championship belongs to the Plainview Pirates. Head coach Dean Boyer says the Pirates had achieved all of their goals heading into the state tournament in Omaha this past weekend, and the 11 wrestlers Plainview took were able to check off their final box of the season.
We wanted to be conference champions first, and we wanted to win state duels, and then we wanted to win districts, and we were able to accomplish all of those, and then turn around and spend with 11 of our 22 wrestlers that we have on our team at the state tournament was a great way to cap it off, and end up with a trophy at the end, I guess.
7 wrestlers placed in the top 5 of their weight class, and 3 won individual state titles as well, the most in Plainview history. Scout Ashburn won the D113 title, Nate Christensen won his second straight individual state title, and Alize Mejia capped off an undefeated season with the D170 title as well. Coach Boyer hopes the recent string of success at Plainview will help inspire future wrestlers at the school.
We walk through the elementary before we leave, and they play We Are the Champions, and they're lined up on each side, high-fiving the boys, and then they can turn around and watch them on TV and say, hey, I want to be like that. Because, Alize Mejia, that was undefeated state champion for us, and Will Gunning told me what made them decide that they wanted to be wrestlers is one of our little kids' coaches had took a group of 8 or 10 kids down to the state tournament to watch, and they decided, I want to be down there. There's 16, 17,000 people here yelling. I want to be in front of something like this. So I'm sure that, those little guys that just went running by here are sitting there thinking that, we want to do that someday too.
And despite the season just wrapping up, Coach Boyer has already put some thought into next season. And with the majority of his team returning, the future continues to look bright for the Plainview Pirates.
We have 22 guys in the room, and we return 20 of them. If they live in the weight room in the off season, and we get our guys spread out, and we're healthy at the end of the year next year, we might be having another interview. You never know.
Reporting in Plainview, I'm Alex Loroff, News Channel, Nebraska.
The Omaha Scott Catholic Skyhawks went head-to-head with the Columbus Discoverers on Monday night in the Class B state championship matchup, and in the early goings it'd be all defense as the corner kick by Scott would be snuffed out by Alex Morales, the keeper for Columbus. Then look at this defensive save by Ivan Rios. The bicycle kick sends it down to the other end, but the attacking attempt by Columbus will be snuffed out by keeper Zach Weiss for Scott, as on the other end the Skyhawks with another corner kick will be headed in, deflected by Morales, and then tapped back into the hands of Morales by Jesus Barrow to keep the match at a 0-0 tie. Another attacking attempt by Columbus, but there for the save is Zach Weiss. We head to the second period, still scoreless. Corner kick by Scott, tapped out to Caleb Voss, but his kick sails over the top. And now a penalty kick opportunity here for Scott to try and take a lead, but that kick will sail over the top as well, this time by Patrick Hoodie. We remained scoreless. Deep free kick attempt by the Skyhawks, but snatched out of the air for the save by Alex Morales. And on the other end, coming out from the goal to stifle a
play dead there is Zach Weiss. We head to penalty kicks now, as neither team able to score in overtime, and the first attempt by Skutt would go for Ben Bausbach, and Ivan Rios would then convert his first attempt for Columbus. Second kick for Omaha Skutt would be converted by Andrew Davidson, but then Antonio Jimenez has his kick blocked by Zach Weiss. Skutt still with a 2-1 advantage. Third kick would go for John Myers, 3-1 the Skutt lead, but Columbus would not go away as Kevin Lopez gets that one in. 3-2 is now the Skutt advantage, but this one Caleb Voss gets it to go to increase the lead 4-2 for Skutt, but make it 4-3 after Jose Gallardo gets that one to go. But then after missing a PK earlier in the match, Patrick Hoodie would convert the fifth and final penalty kick for the Omaha Skutt Catholic Skyhawks as they win their 6th state championship in program history, tied for the most in the history of Class B soccer. For NCN Sports Now, I'm Alex Loroff.